William Betham wrote, Irish Ant Res pages 243-244, the Psalter of Columkill, the Book of Dimma, and the Book of Armagh, are national muniments, of which all Irishmen may be justly proud, may exultingly produce as evidences of the civilization and literary acquirements of their county, at an age, when other nations of Europe, if not in utter ignorance and barbarism, were in their primers, their very hornbooks. The Psalter of Columkill, written in the 6th century, is probably the oldest Irish MS extant. The Four Gospels of Dimma, written early in the 7th century, is perhaps the oldest in the pure Irish character. Betham added in a footnote, from the writing of the Visitation of the Sick, in Dimma's book, and the entry written in the presence of Brian Boirwam, in the year 1006, in the Book of Armagh, being precisely the same character, and differing in toto from that of the remainder of the Misses, commencing on a spare blank part of the vellum, at the end of the Gospel of St. Luke, and continued on an inserted membrane, I consider it to have been written long after the book itself, viz. at the end of the 10th or beginning of the 11th century. Betham doesn't demonstrate how the Psalter of Columkill, which is a book of psalms allegedly written by Street Columba, was dated to the 6th century, at a time prior to all of the methods used today, which means they likely used some sort of paleography in US, which is not scientific. Yet, even by this arbitrary dating, it conforms to the chronology of the priestly takeover that I write about, for Michaelis lamented, no manuscript pertaining to the Gospels was written prior to the 6th century. The dating of this manuscript, however, is still claimed to be from 560 to 600 AD, and is called the Catholic. It allegedly contains a Vulgate version of Psalms XXX, 10, to CV, 13, with an interpretive rubric or heading before each psalm. It is written in Latin. This is the Cumdac, or book shrine, of the Catholic. However, the origin story of this manuscript is too legendary for me to accept, and I'm not sure that Street Columba was a historical man, at least how he's described by the religious Irish. According to the writer of the Royal Irish Academy, it is possible to date the manuscript to the late 6th or early 7th century from the script, but modern historical scholarship has cast doubts on St. Columba's authorship. The story of the circumstances in which St. Columba's manuscript was produced was written down in the early 16th century by Manus O'Donnell, in his new life of the saint who was patron of his kin group, O'Kellier and Scuppernell, 1918, Lacey, 1998. The story is sometimes cited as the earliest example of copyright, but it reflects attitudes to manuscript ownership in the 16th rather than the 6th century. The quality of this writing is elegant and sophisticated, which indicates, even though this is the oldest manuscript still extant from Ireland, that the skill set and system were used prior to the 6th century, should the Psalter be authentic. If you're missing something in your repertoire that'll help you look at the world differently and expand your mind, or you're just inquisitive about the universal system of priestcraft that governs the world, read the Spirit World series. There is more on the Catholic, the Book of Armagh, St. Patrick, and Palladius on the other side. Become a member to access the rest of this article.